This is Lyndsey from Buxton College, who's going to be talking about a new scheme, 2-year scheme. Is that right, Lyndsey?
Yeah, that's right. Hi, Simon, and thanks for inviting me. It's great to be here.
Oh, I see. It's super to have you along. It's nice to have somebody. Sometimes, we do get occasionally people coming in to the studio to do the interview, but it's about 1 in every 10. So it's nice that you've arrived, because I've just had a week off. So this is my second day back. It's nice to have a person here that quickly in the week. Anyway, okay, so Buxton College, tell us a little bit about that. What sort of things does Buxton College do? Is it mostly like the old sixth form college?
Yeah, so we are Buxton and Leek College, so our campuses are here at Leek, Buxton, and also we've got a site over at Derby as well.
All right, so the Leek one's just next door to us here at Moorlands Radio, isn't it? So I take it you've jumped over the hedge, have you? I've
literally scrambled over the hedge to get here, climbed through, the front door.
through the open window there, because the door's locked. Okay, fair enough. So then, Buxton College, you've got this scheme, and you're going to have to sort of give me a little bit of background on it. It's called the Multiply Programme.
Yeah, so I'll just sort of explain a little bit about that to you, Simon. So Multiply, it's a government initiative, and it's designed to help transform the lives of adults across the UK. So by improving their math skills through really small, bite-sized numeracy courses delivered in local communities. So Multiply is intended to boost number confidence in individuals, and the programme provides a welcome recognition of the role that numeracy plays in opening up opportunities for individuals and the benefits it can bring to our local, national and global economy, as a whole, basically.
So did you have to bid for this, or did the government sort of say, you are a college, you're in Buxton, you're going to do this?
That's exactly what happened. So basically the government have pledged £560 million
Good Lord.
Nationally to providers to deliver programmes on Multiply to adults 19 plus. And what we did last year, we sort of bid for our pot of funding to Staffordshire County Council. Staffordshire County Council were allocated 4.2 million out of the 560 million pounds that the government has distributed in local councils up and down the country. And we were one of 11 lucky providers to get part of that share of the funding to be able to deliver the Multiply programme, mainly in our local community here in Staffordshire Moorlands. I
was going to say, because Buxton is technically in another county, isn't it?
It is.
But you have your sphere of influence is quite wide, because if I think where the position of Buxton is in Derbyshire, you're close to Staffordshire, you're close to Cheshire, so you must pull students from quite a wide area.
Buxton and Leek College itself, so the wider picture of Buxton and Leek College, yes, we do. We where we are geographically located, we do pull students in from all those 3 different counties.
This time you're going out into the community, are you?
Well, do
the community come into
it? Us as well.
They come to you.
So
all right.
The lovely thing about the Multiply project is that we are funded for the next 2 years. This is about sort of empowering adults who have anxieties or maybe lack that confidence or don't have those skills they feel to sort of get on with either career opportunity or just to help kids at home with the homework, or even look at their own personal finances and be able to budget. So the Multiply programme, we have a few different strands, is designed to help people, and we have they're all free courses. The minimum hours that somebody needs to do is 6 hours, and that can be an hour a week, for example. That's the minimum sort of guided learning hours which the local council say that we need to deliver. And we've got courses running over at Haregate Community Centre, at Leek Library, at the college itself, but also we're actually going out to places and doing more discreet delivery as well, supporting in the local communities. We're also reaching out to local employers, because we can put on bespoke programmes for staff, and we can go out to the employer on site and deliver a bespoke package around numeracy, where they would like their staff to feel like they don't have the skills at the moment and they'd really like to upskill them, for example. Same with schools. We're reaching out to schools as well, being able to go into schools and offer really short programmes to sort of parents who might not have done maths at school for 20, 30 years, but they'd really like to be able to help their kids at home with their homework.
Yeah, I'm going to have to stay neutral here because, as I'm sure the listeners know, I had another life in the classroom, and I've confessed to you that I was a teacher. I do think that things in maths have changed a lot over, certainly the past 20 years.
Yeah.
And that more people now sort of see maths as a general thing for most jobs rather than a specialist thing for certain jobs. So the practicality of maths has probably come out a lot also, so parents, yes. I mean, I had, when I went to be a teacher, I hadn't got maths GCSE, so I had to do a course at college.
Yeah.
So this sort of thing. Maths in everyday life, is it terribly, is it hands-on, or is there still a lot of the old-fashioned sort of, slide rule and logarithms side?
Absolutely. So the lovely, thing about Multiply is that we can bespoke it to who we're delivering to and what it's for. For example, so if it's our Money Matters programme, then this course is designed around looking at interest rates, looking at savings, looking at sort of compound interest savings rates, looking at mortgages, looking at things like meal planning, looking at your own budgeting, and they're the sort of elements of, let's say, numeracy that you might not have actually learned when you did your maths GCSE or your functional skills. But they're really important part of our everyday life.
Do people get some sort of recognition at the end of the course if they've completed it?
Yeah, they will just get a college certificate,
right?
Because again, what we find is that adults do have anxieties with maths. As a college, we've been involved in maths research projects now for about 6 years, up and down the country. We've collaborated with other colleges and universities, and there's been lots of studies that go on, and they are genuine anxieties with adults.
Do you think maths has become more complicated for younger children as well?
How, when you say...
Well, when I say that, I mean, there was a news item not so long ago that the SATs at Year 6, for example, were extremely hard this year.
Yeah.
And I have looked at one or two SATs papers, and you do have to say parts of it would be GCE,
Absolutely. And what the government are trying, it is become a lot harder, and what the government are trying to do is push sort of us up there in par with our sort of in the sort of global sector, let's say, with the maths, so we could compete economically for the jobs and really encourage people to develop their careers from that early age with maths. So yes, it has for the younger one, for the primary and secondary, it has become harder, and therefore for the parents at home, and the children will come home and go, I'm really stuck, and they really might want to help them, but they'll look at it and go, it's been a long time since I did maths, and it seems to be really different now. That's where we want to fill those gaps for people.
The big change when I left about 5 years ago was you could no longer refer to units. You had to refer to wands. That was the latest change.
Oh, right, okay.
Okay. What are the various strands you've got going then on the courses?
Yeah,
Lyndsey?
Sure, lovely. So we've got different strands. So one of them is Money Matters. So that's all about personal finance and budgeting, meal planning, helping you just sort of understand your income, what you've got coming in. Is it going out in the best way? Your best buys, how to sort of... how to recognise best buys in shops, and how to recognise when the supermarkets are really trying to sell you something that you didn't actually go in there
don't
for.
Want.
Asking, making yourself a list, and not to be tempted, especially if you're on a budget. Another one that we have is called Figure It Out, which is helping parents to help the kids with the homework. Basically, we can't cover everything in the really short courses, but we do aim to cover those key aspects of the curriculum.
You might even be influencing lifestyle here,
Really?
Well, how people spend the money, you know, I mean, it's a very important thing, isn't it? Because if you do go into supermarkets, I'm getting a little bit on my high horse here, but they do make you waste your money in so many different ways.
They do.
You know, I'll just have a packet of that. I fancy a bit of that, but that's not really what you came in for, you know.
It isn't, and you know, and as part of that Money Matters programme, it's sort of being able to, you know, advising people that when you're looking at the price in the supermarket, you know, they do actually have the unit price there as well, or you know, it's X amount of pennies for 100 grams of something, and we say, you know, write your list, and if it's not on your list, it's sort of do you need to buy it, basically.
And I suppose the other thing is, of course, that we've never in the past 30 or 40 years made our mind up with measures. Sometimes we're imperial and sometimes we're metric, you know. We are. And these days it's quite legal to do either.
And they do. And the
have you got measures in there?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And students are taught both, and actually both can appear on the exam paper as well.
Yeah. I mean, I still think in miles. I can't imagine in my head a kilometre, but I can imagine a mile.
Yeah.
And I can imagine a pound of something, you know, or a quarter. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Can't milligrams and grams.
And I do, and I think we you know, a lot of us think in stones as well, don't we?
I can imagine whereas,
stones. You know, I can visualise, you know, 10 stone or 11 stone, but visualising 100 kg. What does that body weight look like, for example, or 120 kg? What does that look like? So it's about looking at those. With that Figure It Out programme, we, you know, provide copies of you know, exam papers to parents or carers as well. We also signpost them to really good free resources, websites, because there's lots of websites out there.
Corbett Maths for one.
Corbett Maths, you know, BBC Bite Size, Dr. Frost. There's a lot out there that we signpost people to make them aware of where they can access videos, for example, and, you know, in a way to help the children. We also offer bespoke packages to employers, you know, so it's if they've got a group of staff that they think, I would really like them to be more skilled in certain types of numeracy in the workplace, we can offer those. We can put a bespoke package together and deliver that, you know, in the workplace as well.
Do you think people will be shy of coming forward?
Yes, they will.
Yeah. They don't want to be seen.
This is part of the maths anxiety.
Right.
And regardless what industry somebody is in, they will feel that they don't want to admit they might not have a maths qualification. They might not have the maths GCSE. They might not have their level 2 functional skills qualification, and they've actually done really well in life without that, and almost, and they might even think, kind of like got through life and in some respects got away with it, you know. And so people will be shy, but what I would say to anybody listening is, don't be shy, you know, do come forward. It's not about being shy and not learning those skills. You know, we work with lots of people. We work with high degree apprentices who themselves have to have, as part of an apprenticeship programme, they have to have their level 2 maths and English, and you know, we deliver to learners who are 50 plus, maybe they're managers who are on a level 7 degree programme that actually didn't achieve their maths at school, for example.
If people want to get in touch, how do they do it?
Yeah, so they can contact Buxton and Leek College on 0800 074 0099. Ask for myself, Lyndsey Mollison, or just say they're ringing up regarding the Multiply programme, whether you're just an individual inquiring, or if you're an employer who is looking to sort of discuss it further. Or you can contact myself directly at l.mollison at blc.ac.uk, or enquiries at blc.ac.uk.
Right, are you listening out there then? So if you haven't got your maths O level, said he, holding his hands up, this could be for you. Okay, and I hope, Lyndsey, that it's a great success. Will you come back and tell us how it's going?
Absolutely. And if we can we bring some case studies with us as well?
Of course you can. Bring as many cases as you like.
Bring as many cases as you like. Who would love to chat about, you know, what they've been doing and how they've been learning, and actually, you know, how it's helped them so far.
Oh, lovely. Well, we look forward to that then a little later in the year.
Lovely.
In the meantime, Lyndsey, if there's anything else we can help you with, please do get in touch with us. And thank you for coming in this afternoon and speaking to us about Multiply.
Thank you very much for inviting me in, Simon, and thank you everyone for listening. and hope to speak to you soon.
Yeah, there we go. You don't get offers like this every day, folks, so make the most of it. Oh, by the way, yes, there's no charge. It's all... She's signalling at me like mad. It is all free. Okay? So all this is free. Don't worry about it. It's free. There's no charge. They're teaching you about money, but there's no charge for this.